Jiang Ping had once served as a paramedic, devoted to saving lives amid chaos and pain. But fate had no sympathy. An on-duty mishap ended his previous life. That could have been the end. Instead, it was a strange beginning, reborn into a world saturated with awakened warriors and mutated beasts. Ping discovered that he too had been reborn as an awakened. At some point in this new life, his fingers curled around an emerald-hued artifact that pulsed with mystic energy. Just as he examined the gem's glossy surface, a chime echoed inside his mind. Contract gem. Utilizes vitality and mental essence to be activated. Upon voluntary ingestion by a target, their life, soul, and consciousness will be irrevocably tethered to the summoner's will. It sounded like a power plucked from myth, but it didn't take Ping long to notice a flaw nestled within the wonder. A flaw that left him silent, the gem still glowing faintly in his hand. "Hey, Jiang Ping, what are you doing?" came a voice from behind, edged with playful suspicion. Sujin Yao, sharp-eyed and blunt as ever, approached with cautious interest. Caught off guard, Ping turned slowly, offering a sheepish grin. "Nothing much. Want a candy?" Yao tilted her head, unconvinced. "Get lost, like anyone's dumb enough to let you control them. Freak." Ping laughed it off, tossing himself down the staircase dramatically. "Just a joke," he called out. But he wasn't laughing inside. The cruel irony of the contract gem was that its grand ability only activated with complete consent. Without that, it was useless. Ping found it amusing that the previous owner of this body had nearly driven themselves insane trying to harness it. He chuckled to himself. "Amateur. Good thing I'm in charge now. If my old life taught me anything, it's how to stay calm in disaster." Seeing his downcast expression, Sujin tried to lift his spirits. "You know, you shouldn't give up just because people say no. This world is huge. There's got to be someone out there who'd actually go for it." He appreciated the thought, but deep down, the idea sounded ridiculous. Who in their right mind would agree to such control? And then, a thought crept in. A wild, strange, uncomfortable idea. Wait a second. What if it was me? He blinked. What if I accepted the contract? Without waiting, Ping stood up straight and popped the gem into his mouth. Sujin's jaw dropped. "What are you doing?" A sudden surge of emerald energy burst outward, spiraling around him, engulfing his figure in light. Sujin took a startled step back, as his entire body shimmered. Then, still as quickly as it had appeared, the glow vanished. Everything returned to normal. "You okay?" she asked, breath shaky. Ping beamed. "Better than ever." She exhaled hard, visibly relieved. "Don't scare me like that." Descending the steps, Sujin adjusted her coat and tossed a glance over her shoulder. "I need to head back to the dorm. Big day tomorrow." Ping stuffed his hands into his pockets. "So you're really doing it, huh?" The wind kicked up around them, rustling her hair as she faced him. "I've learned all I can here. If I want to grow, I need real combat, real danger. Joining the city guard is the next step." He nodded. It was true. Becoming a defender of their homeland had always been her dream. And now she stood right on the edge of it. Blushing faintly, she added, "Don't be upset. Maybe when you get stronger, we'll fight side by side." Ping scratched his head, his face contorting in embarrassment. "Yeah, sure. Stronger. Right. I have to go," she said gently. He stood there, thinking. Guess this is it. I probably won't see her much anymore. She was the first person this body loved. I should give her a hug. Just once. And then, it happened. His limbs moved. No, acted, without conscious thought. In a blur of motion, he embraced her. Sujin gasped, stunned. Ah! A green glimmer danced in the corner of his vision as the sensation passed through him. Wait. Did I just make myself hug her? Did my body move on its own? Sujin stumbled back, eyes wide. I have to go. Turning quickly, she ran off into the distance. Take care, Ping called, waving. She paused briefly, looked back once, and then disappeared. Ping looked at his hands, brow furrowed. What just happened? Was it instinct, or did I command myself subconsciously? For a long time he stood frozen, mind spinning. He had to test it. With sudden resolve, he imagined himself flying through the air like a superhero. His feet left the ground and immediately betrayed him as he face-planted into the dirt. Okay, so no flying, he muttered, spitting out dust. Next, he pictured climbing an iron mountain, spinning in mid-air, balancing on one foot, all things he'd never practiced before. His body obeyed. It was clumsy, imperfect, and exhausting, but it moved. Face down again, arms trembling, he whispered, "So it's real. As long as it's physically possible, I can force myself to do it." Martial arts, advanced movement, mimicked skills, from memory. If he had the strength, he could master anything. He pushed himself off the ground and stood up shakily. "One more test," he murmured. Later, Ping stumbled through a familiar hallway, legs wobbling beneath him. His face was pale, eyes sunken from fatigue. "Why am I so tired?" Then it hit him. Right. I told myself to run at dawn. Even in my sleep, my body followed through. His legs burned, but inside, satisfaction bloomed. It had worked. As he scanned the area, he saw that nobody was paying him any mind. Everyone's attention was focused on Luo Shu, the queen of the academy, radiant as ever. What's she doing up so early? Ping wondered, admiring her from afar. A sudden sharp noise tore through the air. His head snapped around. Time slowed. Before him, a towering beast loomed, its claws like blades, its mouth full of crimson teeth. A girl screamed as the creature clamped down on her body. Ping's eyes widened, heart pounding. What? What the hell is that? The others around the beast stood still, smiling, waving, as if the slaughter were nothing but a mourning ritual. He stared at the mangled corpse being chewed in half. No, that's not Luo. That's not her. That thing isn't human. And the creature smiled, eyes glowing like blood, teeth dripping, a monster with intelligence and hunger. Behind him came a gentle voice, one he recognized immediately. "Classmate Jiang Ping, you look pale. Are you okay?" He turned, expecting to see the kind face of a classmate. What he found instead was a nightmare in disguise, a grotesque fusion of rabbit and wolf, with cruel, elongated limbs and jagged claws. One of those claws had already settled onto his shoulder, lightly but firmly. Ping's breath caught in his throat. His instinct screamed to run, but he clenched his fists and forced himself to stay still. "Don't panic. Don't give it away." "I'm fine," he replied, voice wavering just enough to sound human. "Didn't sleep well. Bad dreams. Anyway, class is about to start." He stepped away calmly, careful not to break into a sprint. The creature, still half cloaked in human form, tilted its head as if sniffing the air. That fear, it thought, something strange glinting in its eyes. Is it just me, or is he different? Ping moved through the academy's corridors, each step more anxious than the last. Why are there mutant beasts inside the school? Am I the only one seeing this? His gaze darted from face to face, wondering if anyone else noticed, but everyone else carried on as usual, laughing, chatting, blissfully unaware. No, this isn't right. I need to report this. A teacher. Anyone. Bursting into the nearest office, he opened his mouth to speak, but the words never made it out. Before him, another one of the monstrous beings stood over a mangled corpse, its distorted face chewing leisurely on what remained of a student. Blood and tissue smeared the tiles like graffiti. Ping bolted out of the room and collapsed onto a bench, trembling. His hands covered his face, fingers digging into his scalp. Something's wrong, horribly wrong. This place, it's not what it seems. It's hell. His fingers closed around the green gem again. The contract gem. That was where it started. Ever since I swallowed it, I started seeing them. Gritting his teeth, he shoved the gem into his mouth a second time. The same green aura erupted around him, consuming his vision in a dazzling wave. A new voice echoed in his head. Analysis in progress. Ping blinked, stunned. Analysis. As the energy spiraled around him, he found himself pinned suddenly by one of the rabbit wolf beasts, its form looming above, smothering his face. He screamed, but then silence. Everything dissipated. The creature was gone. Or rather, it was him. Looking down at his trembling hands, Ping gasped. What? Did I just unlock an ability? The world looked different, sharper, systematic. A flicker passed through his vision, and a translucent interface opened before him. Invocation, Jiang Ping Master, Jiang Ping Race, Human, Level 1. Growth Potential, Ability, Contract. Gem consumes stamina and mental focus to form a gem. When a target willingly consumes the gem, their soul, will, and identity are bound entirely to the invoker. Traits: absolute command, total control over summoned entities, absolute obedience, full loyalty to the summoner's instructions. Basic analysis, access to personal and target status. Data. Success depends on power disparity. Ping stared at the projection, heart thundering. So, that second gem activated a completely different aspect. I'm both the summoner and the summoned. Back in the classroom, he fiddled with a pencil, lost in thought. All right, let's break this down. 1. I can analyze my own status. 2. I am both the invoker and the invocation, which means I answer only to myself. No one else can control me, mentally or physically. 3. That explains why I'm able to see through the illusions. Those creatures aren't normal beasts. They're celestial foxes, high-tier shapeshifters. I'm no match for them at this level. He recalled the football field. One of them had been playing as a student. The system had identified it. Mutated celestial fox, level 26. Its core ability, perception manipulation. It altered reality itself for its victims. 4th point. If these foxes can warp perception, they could devour someone in broad daylight. And you'd still think you were watching students eat lunch. Scribbling frantically into his notebook, Ping continued. Their power doesn't make them invisible. It distorts cognition itself. That's how they've remained hidden. He considered Su Jin Yao. She's a mental type awakened, psychic class. Maybe she could help. Later, Ping wandered through the city, the green hue still dancing across his eyes. His newfound vision peeled back layers of illusion as he passed seemingly ordinary people. A laughing couple, arms intertwined, caught his attention. One of them wasn't human. They're not just in the academy, Ping realized. They're everywhere. He arrived at the city guard headquarters, an imposing building of steel and glass, etched with centuries-old sigils of power. Inside, a young woman greeted him warmly. "How can I assist you?" she asked. "I'm here to see someone," Ping said, holding his voice steady. "Su Jin Yao. She should have registered today." But then, something happened. Right before, his eyes, the receptionist, shifted. Her shape melted, grew, transformed into something massive and toothy. Yet she continued to smile as if nothing had changed. Ping sat down, heart hammering in his chest. Even the guards, the city's elite defenders, are infiltrated. From the side hallway came a familiar voice. "Ping? What are you doing here?" It was Sujin, accompanied by a tall, confident woman in armor. Ping stood awkwardly. I just wanted to make sure you were settling in. Just worried, I guess. She offered a soft smile. I'm doing fine. Everyone's been so kind. Though her eyes betrayed a trace of unease, her voice remained warm. I'll get stronger, Ping. Strong enough to destroy the beast that killed my parents. Ping clenched his fists. Yeah, I believe in you. She nudged his shoulder. We're short on people, you know. I could put in a good word for you. He laughed, bitterly. Thanks, but I don't belong here. My power's not good for fighting. I'd be more useful tending crops. She didn't press further. He waved, smiling faintly. Glad you're doing okay. I'll stop bothering you. The smile vanished as soon as he turned around. Behind her, lurking in the shadows of the pristine hall, were 4 enormous figures, celestial foxes, watching him. So even here, even among the strongest, they've taken over. Pearl City's defenders, reduced to livestock in some nightmare masquerade. His hands shook with fury. His jaw clenched tight enough to ache, and still he walked away, out into the cold light of the city, head bowed in thought. This isn't infiltration anymore. It's complete control. The celestial foxes aren't hiding in the cracks. They run the whole damn system. He didn't speak. Again. Not aloud. But inside his mind burned one final, furious truth. They've turned my world into their playground, and I'm the only one who knows it. Jiang Ping had taken his new power seriously. With each use of his analysis ability, more pieces of the puzzle began falling into place. What he discovered about the celestial foxes disturbed him more with every scan. Most of them fell into organized tiers. Low-level beings between tiers 1 through 9, mid-levels between 10 and 19, and high levels from 20 up to 29. Anything that reached 30, though, that was another class entirely. That was Apex, possibly King level. A creature at that stage wasn't just a threat, it was a calamity. Even the city guard, equipped with battle-hardened and awakened elites, couldn't overpower these things. They blended too well, struck too fast, and outmaneuvered anyone below their tier with devastating ease. Ping's thoughts circled around the same figure. What killed Lure Yu? That wasn't just a fox. That was something beyond the usual categories. If I so much as tried to analyze it, it would know my exact location. Instantly. He remembered her nickname around the academy, the Queen of the Eye campus. But the thing masquerading as her, that was no student. It had been something monstrous pretending to be human, and it wore her skin like a borrowed coat. Ping shuddered. Celestial foxes weren't like other mutant beasts. These were creatures with terrifying intelligence, masters of deceit. Where others charged or ambushed, foxes infiltrated, adapted, and targeted high-value individuals with ruthless precision. Powerful students, influential guards, teachers, none were off-limits. And what about the rest of the population? Ping looked around as he wandered through the crowded city streets, his footsteps slow and his gaze heavy. We're the extras. Background noise, livestock being fattened for some future feast. It made him sick. He balled his fists tightly. I'm not strong enough to fight them head-on. Not yet. But just standing by while people get eaten? I can't live with that either. His routine had changed. Gone were the lazy mornings and easy nights. He'd been pushing himself, hard, body, mind, spirit, everything honed by training, trial, and obsession. His body ached constantly, but he welcomed the pain. That meant progress. That meant leveling up. He had attempted to create more contract gems, hoping to replicate or enhance his awakening. Unfortunately, each new gem came out dull and transparent, lifeless. Swallowing them had no effect. But then, just recently, something changed. In his hand, a shimmering purple crystal hummed softly. He swallowed it without hesitation, grimacing, still gross. But within moments, his core burned with energy.